Hi guys, Kim here. Sun, Rainbow Bridge open for business. Talk about dot joining. Between my dreams and watching other sources of information, it's beginning to form a pattern, and I'll try and explain the pattern that's forming to you. It seems that there's some connection between the pyramids, the Aztecs, and the Bible teachings. In my dream about 8/8, I saw something happen to the pyramids, where it was a three-pronged beam. It connected to the three pyramids in Egypt, and it formed into one shot, which created a beam that shot into the sky. A yellow beam that did something to the star Sirius, and it turned into the sun. I was watching on Netflix The Sign, and I think the scene is in the first episode of season 2. You could almost miss it as it's very fleeting, but it's the point where Atya goes to the university and the professor's under the tree saying goodbye to the students as he's leaving, and then the scene flips for a moment to Atya and her mother talking, and her mother tells her that the earth is pregnant. I had to rewind it about 4 times. It's very muffled what she says after that. Then I was thinking about the David Bowie video that I linked the other day and how he was talking about the world being upside down, which brought me to the thought of, well, if it's the story of Christ being born and the bright star showing the 3 wise men the way was yet to happen, and that the baby was Christ consciousness in an allegorical sense. So then I looked up the 3 wise men, and it said Osiris coming was announced by 3 wise men, the 3 stars, Mintanaka, Anilam, Al-Itak, in the belt of Orion, which point directly to Osiris star in the east, Sirius. So the beam could be an allegory for the 3 wise men or the star they see in the sky. Then I came across 2 videos done by 6 Sun News. The first is called Lionsgate Portal 8/8 to 8/11, and in brackets Christ is born, which I'll link below. And then the other one's called Lionsgate Portal Moon Transit to Virgo. So I'd suggest you watch both of these as he explains why today is the day. He also shows how at one point the moon is directly in Virgo's belly. The Rainbow Bridge thing is interesting because the actualization of the chakras and the 144 thing, that it would be us as eyes that would actualize at this point through finally learning how to use the chakras in unison and therefore creating the rainbow. It's in Michael Jackson's video too. Can you feel it? At the 3.56 minute mark, the Rainbow Bridge appears, then all these bubbles appear from the sun with faces in them. They land and you hear a baby cry. It just seems to me that all these things align. So will we see the Rainbow Bridge? That's the question. The Rainbow Bridge appears in many myths. It's been distorted, like everything else, into a passing place for pets that die. But originally the Rainbow Bridge was in Nordic mythology, and it was the bridge that Thor travelled on both ways between Earth and Asgard, called Bifrost, and it's said to be the bridge that connects Midgard, Earth, with Asgard, the realm of the gods. Personally, my observation is that when a meme's changed so dramatically, it usually means that other things are buried underneath it. So if you do a search for Rainbow Bridge these days on Google, you'll get 10,000 matches for pet deaths. And then you've got the Aztec thing that comes in through them saying the 6th sun arrives in 2021. I also have my own thoughts on the idea that I think it's completely weird that the word sun and sun is the same as in S-U-N and S-O-N, and that each of the epochs prior had its own sun, a character, potentially someone that could have at one time been a physical being in a reality that did extraordinary work during their life and then became immortalized and have their own realm for a period of time, guiding the souls throughout towards them becoming suns themselves. This was part of what the higher being told me when I had the dream of Atlantis back in 2004. He told me that each of us would become suns, and that with the expansion of inward and outward breath transmuting by inhaling corruption and transmuting it to love with the outward breath. Either way, if anything was to happen, it would potentially be within the next 24 hours. And then I even wondered if the 528 was actually a time, but what time zone, I've got no idea. I'd like to say that none of this may be true. It could be wishful thinking on my part. I've continually asked the source in the last few years how to navigate the force against my will idea, and all I get as a reply is, do not worry, it's all a gigantic illusion, put in place so you can view what you need to view. in order for humanity to attain a level of wisdom using ethics and truth as a guideline, so we can actualize into our rainbows, becoming children of the sun. On a closing note, I'm going to be making my children's story videos today. I've called them 5 to 8. I've not republished the book yet, as that will take some work, but what I'm going to do is put the story out in video format, chapter by chapter. If anybody's interested in kids' stories, it's going to be a fantasy series about 5 characters living in a land called Hush, and each character represents an element. It's basically just little stories, adventures, and each adventure has a purpose or learning. I will time the release, so I will release one a day for the next 16 days. Thanks for listening. Ta-ta.